Remember this guy? Well, this is him now. Feeling old yet? I know he is, because gathering that much red nether brick doesn't come quick. Now, a logical question you may ask is, why do you need that much red nether brick? And the answer is, I'm building my very first castle today, and that's why I need that much red nether brick. So about that, let's get started with my castle build to kick things off. So if you're familiar with my city, you will know exactly where we are, but it's just behind these houses in the front here, and this is actually the angle that I've been looking at for so long, just waiting and saying, one day I'm gonna have a castle sticking out the back there, and it's gonna look awesome. And today is the day that we finally get the castle sticking out the back there, and I can't say it just yet, but I'll put some good money on it's gonna look awesome. So we're kicking things off with the plan that I've done before I started building, and that is something I never do. I never plan before I build. I just go all crazy into it and see what comes out. But I kind of did that in creative mode first in a separate world, and now I'm bringing a lot of these things over just so that I knew I had the proportions right of this thing. And also, of course, having to redo stuff on a big thing like this, it's not fun. So we just did a bit of planning to make sure we didn't get ourselves stuck with that. What I'm doing here is I'm trying to find the coolest looking roof, because I think the roof, I mean, it is the crowning part of our city, realistically, and it kind of does look a little bit like a crown, but I think not only that, it also is probably the most important thing, just like a crown in that sort of respect, where if we get this wrong, the rest of the walls and everything else around the castle might as well be gone. So that is why we're getting this right from the get-go. Now, at some point while I was building this, I did realize, wait, am I creating a castle or am I about to create a big mob farm? So I thought, you know, let's just get things fixed up, get the torches in, and stop these guys from joining me. Maybe one day when we've got everything in, we can invite some friends around here, but for now, the skeleton's out. And in fact, I did also crack an egg of a chicken, and we did make a chicken friend at some point in this, so maybe we can invite them. Seems like a better party guest. Now, as far as the building part of this is concerned, I'll try to get the shape of this roof looking good, and of course something this big is not an easy thing to get right. So I did my best, at least for the size, for something that we can come back to, and I decided going and doing a little bit of decorating, not too much, but just a little bit of decorating on the edges of the roof might be a good idea, and that's why I decided to use some normal nether brick, because they had both nether brick walls and also nether brick fences, which is something quite unique to the block. And not only that, it actually looks quite good from a distance, despite the fact that I have said a billion times I can't use nether brick to save my life. I think we finally got it going good. Now, because this is such a special occasion, I thought let's put some shaders on and check it out. And man, I wasn't expecting my world to look quite this beefy. Like this is super beefy. Look at that chunkiness going on behind those houses. That is a huge difference, at least for me. I've been picturing this forever. Now I finally see it, and picture when we've got more stuff going on up on those sides. Oh man, I'm looking forward to this world tour coming up. Not very soon, but when it comes up, it's gonna be a good one. So I've laid out the main part of the throne room. Oh, hey buddy, how's it going there? I actually forgot about these guys. I've been making so many friends, like my buddy over here. I've got another buddy all the way on that end there, still tied up, looking good. It looks like these leads are now lasting past me restarting my world, which is really good. That's fantastic. Back in the day, that used to pop off all the time, although I haven't left the chunks, so maybe that might be the case, but look at that. That is looking amazing. I'm very happy. Honestly, I think the roof was the big one that I was worried about, and I still think it's got room for improvement, in particular with the big roof, as I mentioned a bit earlier. The larger things are a bit rough to get quite right, but look at that there. The shape on that one works quite well. I think we just need to do a bit more on the sides. It all looks like brick, because it is all brick, but if we come down a little bit on the sides there, it'll look real good there. Also, look at this. You see how I did these alternating stairs? I know they look a little bit weird when I zoom in, but from the top, it actually looks real good. So very happy with that. Very, very pleased. So the big old ugly elephant in the room is there are no walls, and I'm gonna have to deal with that sooner or later, because we're not just putting a roof on this castle, we have to put the walls in. And that is what I've been thinking about, because there are a few options that we have for these walls, and I think we're gonna go with a bit of everything. So one thing I'm thinking of is I want to have a darker brick in here, because we've already got some very light stuff going on in the city. So a darker brick, and I said, what could I do for that? Well, I've already got the nether theme going on, so why not bring nether into the overworld without it even having to be a nether build? So we're gonna have red nether brick, we're gonna have nether brick, and we're also gonna have basalt, which is an interesting choice for me because we don't have an alternative block like we would with cobblestone or we would with stone brick, but I want to get it into a build and I think it's going to work fantastic, and it's a lot darker than cobblestone, so I think it'll work quite well just in general compared to the rest of the stuff, so I think it'll work very well just toning things down a little bit from what we got in the front. The other thing is, it also means we're going to have to find a good way of getting it, and I don't think I currently want to just go and mine it out of the nether, because as far as I'm aware, we can actually generate it ourselves. So I'm thinking I might just make a real simple generator for basalt, and we can give it a go and see how it all looks. And I'm not too sure if we want the polished variety or what variety we're going to go on there, but I'm thinking that's where we're going to be going. Now I've got a whole bunch of other things we're going to put in. Bone block, a bit of spruce probably, or dark oak wood. I need to get some wood in there as well. I mean, I think this is a pretty good idea. This is a pretty good look for a raw building without any detailing on it at all, except for the little bits on the roof, which, as I say, subject to change, and I'm probably going to one day take that down a bit, but that's a big job. Maybe I'll have to be very bored to get rid of that, but I'm happy with it the way it is right now. I had quite the surprise. I had no ice, but I had a bucket of lava just waiting in my storage. I don't know why I've got one of these. I don't know why I do not have ice, but I think we're going to sort that one out. Now, I'm not too sure. Do we need packed ice, or do we need just normal ice, or do we need blue ice? Whichever one we need, I think we're going to be all right, though, because we've got ourselves a whole bunch of icebergs just out here, not too far away. Like that over there, that's our spruce, well, that's our soon-to-be spruce biome, completed one day, but it's looking pretty good. Look at that, just floating away. Goodbye, spruce. See you soon. Look at that. Actually, you know what? I kind of like that. Just the silhouettes of it. They look good. So here is, as far as I'm aware, compressed ice, which I always say the wrong one. It's either compressed ice and I say the one way, or packed ice and I say the other way. So there we go. That is packed ice. I was close. I was close. You know what? I'm going to have to find a middle ground word for that. All right. That did not do anything. Blue ice it is. After trying a few different things, I still have not got this to work. I know you're probably laughing at me saying, it's so obvious, just do the thing, but I've tried my hardest not to look at any guides, but I think it's about time that I do now. I've given it a good go, it's time to look at a guide. All right, I think we have got what we should be doing. I've had a look, and it seems like the way that, at least the way I understand it, is soul sand. Well, this is soul soil. I think this should work. Let's just give this a go. If it doesn't, it does. All right, never mind. Okay, we've got ourselves a generator. Do I dare stand in here without, you know what? There's water over there. If I get caught in lava, I'll be fine. All right, this is gonna take a while. We've got a solution to this. We can just make ourselves a cup of coffee, keep the mouse held down, and everybody wins. I'm pretty sure we are losing some of this stuff to the lava, which is not very smart. Look at that. Yeah, that one went. All right, that could be a problem. Although, there is a plan. I did just do all that redstone stuff. You know what? We've got it down here, actually. This is what I was using. So I'm not going to do anything too crazy, but I can see a very easy way of doing this. What we're going to do is we're just going to push this block out. All right, so we need to put this observer in the correct direction. So that will just power a piston, which will push it out. That seems pretty simple. In fact, you know what? I'll pop the observer over here, in fact, because that will mean that we will actually be able to put the piston right over there. Now the time has come to see if this works. Our powered rails are here. So does this? No. All right, you know what I'm gonna need to do? I was worried this was gonna happen. I thought maybe we, no, that's my last powered rail. Oh wait, this kind of worked. Sort of. I felt like it should have been doing more. All right, you know what? I'm gonna have a new plan. Well, there's a sight you don't wanna see. All right, that's two of them down. I keep hearing a third guy, and I don't know where he is. I keep hearing it from... What? Where is this guy? There is no one... I'm getting out of here. There is an invisible one of these guys. All right, let's see if I can sleep it away. All right, if I just sleep, if I just close my eyes, they don't exist. They don't exist even if I keep them open. All right, let's eat up. I might have to reload this. Don't open the door. Don't open the door. Can you hear him? Hey, I just got my first ever crossbow. That's pretty cool. Don't have a bolt for it, but still, that's pretty cool. Getting my first one. I thought I'd actually make one to begin with before I actually fought one of these guys. Let's go for it. Sounds like he's right there. Yes, 100%. That guy's invisible. This is an unfair fight. I'm leaving. All right, I need a better way of doing this stuff. I've overcomplicated it, and I've come up with 4 of these. I don't think we need 4 of them. I don't think 1 is enough. 4 is probably too many. And of course, as I say, I've gone way too far with this. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use this really dodgy version of it, and I'm going to think of a better way of doing this in the future. But for now, I'm probably going to get just enough to finish up the castle walls, and then we can come back to this at a later day. We've got a fair bit more basalt now than we did before. I've done a little bit of the work on that machine, but you know what? That's the thing for another day. So let's test this out. I've got 2 ways of doing this. This is the way that I think is probably not going to work, and then the other way is the one that is a whole lot of work and is probably going to work. So let's give this one a go. If this works well, at least we know. You know what? At least we know. If it works well, good. If not, we know what it looks like. Yeah, I'm willing to say a no. That is not going to be the one. Let's flip it around, and I'll show you what I was actually thinking. Now, of course, I have thought about where I'm putting walls and stuff in this place, so I've accounted for the fact that this is actually going to be a flat wall, and you'll see what I mean by flat wall. I'm almost breaking my own building rules here. So if we go 1 up there, you see how this over here, this piece that just frames off the building, is right next to this block without a block inward like that? That's a mistake a lot of the time from me, because I normally don't do that. If you have a look, like there, see how it kicks in? That one doesn't, but you can see they kind of all just kick in 1 block, and that helps a building so much. But for this one, because it's so large, I think we could get away with not doing that. And the other thing is also, I didn't want to go extremely big, because if we kicked every one of these out, this thing would be huge. Like, it would just expand that much more. So I thought, you know what, let's just keep it all flat. We found the block we want right there. That's fantastic. And everything's going to work fantastically. That is actually really good. You know what? It's a big pity that we don't have more variety of this basalt block, because in the end, if we could end up putting a few different variations of this in, or just having, stairs and slabs, that would be amazing. Maybe that's something that's coming in the future. Who knows? That'll be very cool. So now I need a better solution to putting this in sideways, because this is going to take forever, because we're going to have to do it for this, for that, for that. I'm going to put a different block in the middle here. So yeah, that's going to take me a while. All right, I came up with a good idea, and it was to put sand over there so I could just break the wall down behind it once I've put that down there. But the interesting thing is, the sand actually looks pretty cool itself. So my cool idea ended up being an interesting block choice. I don't think that would work for this, but it works better than I expected. Look at that. Very cool. Now, this is just the wall. No windows, nothing else. It's looking very good. Now, with the sun going down, picture the light just shining out of there. Oh man, that's gonna look so good. I'm telling you, the next Shaders World Tour is gonna be awesome. Now, on the topic of changing the basalt texture, I am super tempted to make a random every now and then change in the texture if this looks a little bit odd, but I'll deal with that when it comes down to it. But there is a question that I get quite often in my comment section, and that is, how can you get your hands on my texture pack? Now, there's a few things about that. First of all, my texture pack is a whole big mess of textures. So there's not exactly one easy way to say, hey, that's my texture pack. But I have got some stuff in the works for you guys. And what I'm doing is I'm working on getting you guys a link to the textures that I use in the exact same way that I use them. So man, can I stop falling off that thing? So you will not have to wait too much longer. I've got some stuff in the works, and I should be able to get my texture pack out there for you guys to use as well. I will let you guys know through a video, of course, when I have that available. So just keep your eyes and ears open for that, because it is coming. And let me tell you this, I've got some cool stuff in it that I think you guys are gonna like. Would you take a look at that? I think we're looking really good right now. Now, the next part, I thought I'd take you guys along with it, because this is the semi-detailing part. It's not like the totally detailed part, but it's the next phase, I guess, in terms of this. We've got ourselves the box, which we already had. Now we're kind of filling in the bits of the box with some textures. The next one is getting a few more interesting parts of these walls, and I think windows are an obvious one that's going to be way more interesting. I don't want a pillar out there with, you know what, I'll use basalt, because this stuff's going to be way more simple for me to get than bone block. Man, I really don't choose the best blocks. Bone block is a block I'm in super short supply of, and I don't know why I keep using it. Well, because it looks so darn good. That's probably why. All right, so as I was saying, we're going to make some more decoration on this wall, and what we want to do here is I want to put a little window at the top here, because this area is actually deceptively small. From down there, it looks way larger than what it actually is. This is only 5 blocks wide. Like, from down there, I thought it was 7. I'd convinced myself it was 7. And when I went to think about how I'm going to do this, I realized, no, I can't do that. I need to be a bit smarter about this. So what we're going to do here is we're going to put in something I'd probably call like a boring window. You see that there? Like those and those there. They're not actually windows. They just look really good in the dark. So that's why we're going to use them. Because what ends up happening is this prismarine ends up shooting through these trap doors. And it looks like there's a light on inside, which I personally think it looks really good. I don't know if everyone agrees with me, but I think so. Actually, I was going to put some spruce wood in here. And the perfect pearl to the top. Nailed it. Look at that. Man, my purling has been on point today. You guys might not have seen it, but while that time lapse was going on, there were some pearls going everywhere. I think I messed up once, and when I messed up, I messed up. It was bad. Like I was out in Narnia for a while before I got back here, but overall, I haven't lost it. I think I've still got my good purling skills going on. So let's get these last few blocks in there. I'm going to save those. So we do that, and I'm going to put one of these out because we're not done here yet. So what we need is the dark oak slabs, pearl down there. Don't miss that one. That would be embarrassing. That would just be plain embarrassing. And actually what we're going to do, because we're going to do this, you see this, we go, one there, and then we'll put one in there. But just to make sure that we have got the same consistency over here, we'll remove these three. And I guess I just boasted about not putting anything in those. We're doing it now. So those there, kind of feel bad about stripping that wood, but that's all right. So those there, and there. And let's check how this looks from actually I can get rid of this one from the bottom. Let's give it a go. I think we need more stuff in here to actually call it if that one's a good idea or not, but I think I like it. I worked out what this needed, and I think what it really just needed was a little bit more depth to it. So I've pushed this whole wall back one, and I've also gone ahead and extended the roof a little bit, but I think this sort of stuff is going to annoy me, seeing that this pillar goes up there into a block like that, and it's not going to be filled. So we might have to do something about that in the future, but for now, I think the depth should save this if I am correct. So we'll put these blocks in and take a look from the bottom. And there you have it. You see what I actually did was I pushed it in one there, but left that one out. I think that looks so good. Actually, I've made a little bit of a mistake again, but that's an easy fix. What the mistake is up there, that bone block actually should be one more block back so that it's flush with the rest of those bone blocks. So I'll do that, but I think that looks real good. I think it's just going to add a little bit of texture to that, a little bit of variation. Now, the next piece is, I guess it's really irrelevant. What I want to do is put a window in here, but this building that's over here, which is what do we call it? What do we call it? The Enrance Hall. Really? After all that messing around with one other word, I left the T off of entrance. All right. Well, it's going to be the Enrance Hall going over here, and I don't know how high it's going to be. So we're going to have to eventually work that one out. But for now, let's work out how to spell it first. Now I've got the side walls in, and I think what we're going to do to these guys is add in a window over there, a window over there, and maybe one down the bottom here. So that should, I think, work very, very well. Also, one thing to keep in mind, even though I know this looks really short, I'm planning on probably putting the floor actually lower than that, so we'll just extend those down if we have to. The reason why I didn't go too high was because I was judging it off the view that we have from out there. Any higher than this, I think, would just look a little bit silly, I suspect. I think we're on that edge of it being a bit ridiculous, but anything lower, I think, would be fine. And of course, if you guys know me and going down with the build, I think it's probably one of the best options we would have to get more stuff in here. And of course, I think I mentioned it a few videos back. In fact, you know why I mentioned it? If you guys are curious about putting the build lower and why that's such a good idea, realistically, I mean like digging into the ground once you've got your building. If you don't know what I'm talking about, have a look at the world tour a few episodes back, because that is where I explain it. Now, actually, do I want this window to be a 3 window or a 2 window? Probably actually want it to be a 3 window. Ooh, actually, oh no, I've got to be careful with this, because if I break this, for me to put another one of these in that direction is not easy. All right, be careful, Jansey. Let's just not mess this up. All right, so if we plan it, the highest point that we can do is right over there by putting a 3 window in there. So let's do that. So we'll go 1, 2, 3. And as I said, I wanted it 3 wide, so we go there, there, and there. So really, I was in the right spot. All right, no, kind of not, but kind of yes. All right, so there's the right spot. We'll go there. We'll put in some windows that I haven't actually done in a while. And this comes from my second world, where we ended up figuring out this cool little design where we go like that, put in some half slabs in there. Well, window half slabs, whatever you'd call them, glass panes. So there, and we'll go check it out. Right, from the side, it's looking good. Let's just keep it going. And where's my way up? Right over here. Look at this guy. Yeah, you. Look at him. All right, yeah, that looks pretty good. I normally don't have connected textures on. I don't know why that is on, but that's all right. That's not a big deal. In fact, if we played with connected textures on, it would force me to put in the gray. So this is the light gray. If we put in the normal gray blocks, we could actually get a cool texture going on there. So maybe we could do that. Maybe we could keep the connected textures on for a bit. I'm going back down here because I want to see how it feels as we walk up here and we see the castle for the first time as we come around through our village over here. So we're walking. Okay, trees in the way. Bam. Look at that. Yeah, that is so good. That is very, very good. In fact, you know what? I'm realizing just how much stuff I've got done today. That is a very productive day so far. Didn't even realize that. So what I'm thinking, because I've had thoughts about this, again, disgusting. That guy. All right. You guys are gonna make so many noises. I'm gonna leave. So right around there and right around there, I've left a little spot, and I was planning on putting a little bit of a garden in there. And I know it sounds very odd, but I think it'll look quite cool with the spruce hanging over the edge here. I think it'll look real nice. And besides, I mean, just leaves in general. They're your best friend when building. If you make a mistake, leaves will solve it. Actually, you know what? I also thought about this, and I just forgot. There was something else I thought about adding in over here. I think those are going to look real good from the bottom. I can tell you that now. I'm just going to put them in on this side, then we can have a look from both. But I think it's going to be a winner. A little bit too symmetrical for me. I think that looks a bit silly because those are both on the same, but that's all right. I can fix that up. But I think that looks really good. Ignore the fact that that's not done, because that's another story of its own, which we'll get to very soon. But for this here, I think that looks fantastic, actually. There are a few changes that I think we should make to this, but I'm curious what your guys' thoughts are, because I've got my own thoughts on this. I'll probably change it before the next episode, but if you guys have got any thoughts on that one, please let me know, because as I say, it's my first ever castle. I think we're doing all right now, but I think there's definitely a lot of room for improvement. Well, there you have it. I think we've got a good start to our castle. Between the laying out of everything in the last episode and this episode where it's finally coming together, I'm very, very happy. So, of course, this will be the end of the episode. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I have enjoyed this castle up till now, and I think I'm going to be enjoying this till the very end, because there are so many more rooms and so many more ideas to do, and I think it's just going to come together in a very, very nice package. So I'm looking very forward to the next few episodes coming up very, very soon. So thank you so much for joining me here today, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in the next one.